Hi, everybody. I'm here to share with you something exciting and inspiring, and hopefully, it be inspiring to everybody. Um, I just finished public speaking class today. I think I was like at 1, and I'm doing public speaking class with Rise. It's a program for parents who are impacted by child welfare system, and we get to share our story with people, which I won't share anyone's story because we are strictly private for everybody, respecting everyone's privacy. Um, but I can share my own personal journey. Um, so I decided to join Rise to become a parent advocate and advocate for parents who go through the child welfare system as well. And I want to do advocacy for other things too, not just parent advocacy. Um, we get this amazing staff that helps us with public speaking. They help us write our story out, and they help us edit it, and we have like an amazing editor as well that helps us. But I have to say that I've just been completely inspired as the weeks have gone by, because it's like 16 weeks I think we have to do it, and I've been doing it since like February, and it's been really good for me and healing because I went through a little situation as a parent with my son, and he was acting out and being a hot mess in school and not listening and getting into fights in schools and hanging out with the wrong crowds. And one day I woke up and I just slapped him up, and he went to school telling everyone that I choked him and I hit him, and I was like, no, I did not choke him, he got slapped. So I did explain that to the ACS people, which I did get ACS involved. Well, I didn't, but the school called. The school was aware of everything that was going on in my house because I was constantly being called to the school to sit with my son and talk about his behavior in school, and I was also letting them know that he was going through changes, being that he moved back home with me, and they knew a lot of concerns I had with my son with his behavior, because my son also suffers from ADHD. So, you know, I have to find ways to work with my son and stuff. But I'm glad to say everything got closed off. They found everything unfounded, and everything was closed. That doesn't make me a parent, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of parents that probably like slap their child, if they got a little bit overwhelmed. But it was the wrong way for me, so I feel like I needed to find ways to deal with my son and find better approaches, which I decided to do homeschooling. Once the school didn't want him in the school anymore, I started doing homeschooling. I started reading books by Don Miguel Ruiz. Like, I started doing self-work within me so that I can help myself, so I can be a better person and a better mom and make better choices as well. I was just like overly overwhelmed with my son with the back and forth to school and all that stuff. So um, after they got tired and they wanted to put my son in a different school from him being so like out of control in the school and stuff, I decided to homeschool him, which actually worked really well for me. Um, so I was working with him with that and getting involved in his education personally. I took out a library card, a teacher's library card, where I was able to take out books for like 60 days. I went to the library with him. I sat down with him and I asked him like what was he already learning, what he needs help with, so that I can help him with it. And I'm not that great at math, but I was teaching myself as well and refreshing my memory with math. But everything else I had it like down packed, because I'm very good with writing, I'm very good with social studies and everything else. But then I started doing self work for myself, and I started doing meditation, and I started looking for answers within myself and how I can get better, because it's not just my child that needs to change, it's not just my child that needs to um, deal with things better, but I do too. Like my anger, I need to control that, and I need to understand where that anger comes from, and it comes from something much deeper than just the problem with my son. And that includes the traumas I endured growing up, and the things I constantly still deal with within me, and I don't express it anymore, because I used to be the type to just like write everything on Facebook and Instagram, but I stopped doing that. I started holding things within myself, but that doesn't help either. So I turned to writing. Guys, I turned to writing. Sorry, my kids are here fighting over a ruler. Give me. No fighting. No fighting. So I was doing a lot of healing within myself because I had to figure out how to control my anger and try to deal with a lot of self work, and try to I started getting into meditation. I started reading books. The first book I read was The Four Agreements. These are Toltec books, Practical Guide to Self-Mastery. So I read the Four Agreements. I don't have the Four Agreements because I lent it to someone and I never got it back. But I read this book, The Fifth Agreement, and that kind of helped me a little bit. And I kept buying just books, trying to figure out like how to work on myself, because I know my anger has always been there, and it's something I need to work on, and I still have to constantly work on every day because it's not gonna go fast. And I also started reading this book, The Mastery of Love. I read a couple of books. Started investing in a lot of the books by Don Miguel Ruiz and his son, The Voice of Knowledge. Started reading a lot of these books. I started doing meditation. I started slowly trying to do things differently. I started looking for tips, like what I can try with my son, what I can do to better my relationship with my son, because we were disconnected. Being that he wasn't living with me for a while, we were disconnected. So it was like we was always arguing, we was fighting, and plus the people that he was with was basically poisoning his brain about me. So we was a little bit disconnected, and I needed to figure out a way where me and my son can come back and connect as mother and son. I needed to stop yelling so much and just listen to what he had to say also, because sometimes us parents want to be like, no, but it's what I said, and no, I don't want to hear what you said. But we have to listen to our kids, and we have to let them express themselves and tell us and speak up on things that they're afraid to speak up on. So I started doing my self-work, and I'm still doing my self-work within myself. I also got myself a journal, gratitude journal, because it's like for self-care. I need to practice self-care because I let myself go. I was also going through depression, and just a lot, just feeling alone, and a lot of hurt and pain that I carry throughout the years because of family stuff, dealing with my family and stuff like that. And so I joined Rise, right? I joined Rise because of the ACS situation, and honestly it's been a healing experience, because the more I write about the situation, the more I feel better, the more I tend to understand that, when I was asking for help, when I was expressing myself about my son's behavior, no one was listening to me. So it's like it took one slap for ACS to get involved, and for schools to be like, calling ACS instead of helping the parents and making things worse. Because I feel like the school could have helped me and not pretend that they was caring and pretend that they wanted to help me. Because a lot of these people, they pretend they want to help parents, and they don't do anything. We're sitting here like, okay, you said you was going to help me. Okay, you said you was going to get my son in this program. Hey. And nothing gets done. Nothing. So at Rise, I get to share my story, and I get to help other parents, and I get to share my story to inspire other parents and see the obstacles I overcame, and I get to talk about. I also talk about my story. Well, the very beginning, how my son ended up not being with me, to like him moving in with me, to the ACS being involved, and the disconnection between the mother and son, and the steps I took to try a different approach when it came to my son, and what I continue to do. So hopefully when that story, I'm done writing that story, hopefully I can share with everybody the link and you can read about my story. And if you also were impacted by child welfare system and you want to tell your story, if there was some type of injustice, or some type of racial issue with the child welfare system, or you just want to tell your story and how you overcame it, or what you continue to do, and you get to learn about things that a lot of us parents don't even know when it comes to the child welfare system, when it comes to our rights, and what we can take, what steps we can take, and all that. And I feel like Rise been a really good opportunity for me, because I got to learn a lot of things I didn't even know. And I was a person that was in the foster care system, and I didn't even know this. And I was just like, wow, imagine my mom would have known all of this. She would have had some type of help. But I feel like most of us don't come out and tell our stories. Most of us don't ask for help because out of fear of judgment. Because a lot of people tend to shame people a lot instead of helping them. Instead of saying, hey, do you need somebody to talk to? Hey, you need some help. Hey, I know a place that you can take your son and help you. Too many people, want to be like, hey, like, I can be there for you, but they're not really there for you. They're not really taking action to be like, hey, here, go here, this can help you. Hey, you should try this because this can help you. Oh, you should try this, or give you tips that can help you. Because I feel like all parents should come together to give each other ideas that can help one another. And sometimes us parents, we need people to communicate with, and just to because at the end of the day, we all have one common goal, and that's to make sure our kids grow up to be healthy, decent young people, finishing school, having their own apartment, doing well in school, having their education as well, and growing up to be decent people in life. And how can we do that if we don't have certain resources, or we're not able to have community support? What I'm trying to say, I guess. But a lot of us don't come out and say things because we're out of fear of judgment and people just being messed up towards us, or we just don't want to share or anything. But if we share our stories and we tell people our experiences as parents, a lot of people will be inspired to speak up and start telling their stories, start sharing their stories, start looking for support or sharing support with others. And I'm just letting you know there's parent advocates as well that can advocate for you. You can even join Rise. It's amazing. I like it. I know I went off a little bit, but I'm just thinking, because this is not written or anything. So, but yes, it's inspiring, and I hope that I can join more programs like these, more training with advocacy, being involved in my community when it comes to parents, and also voicing what I would like to see in my community as a parent. So I'm going to share with you, this one is written. I want to share with you a piece I wrote today for my public speaking class. And here it goes. It was free writing. We did free writing today. So I would like to share this piece with everybody. What I want to see in my community is a cleaner community. No garbage, urine, graffiti. I want to see kids being able to play outside without gang members fighting or smoking around the area where kids play. Because if you notice, our kids can't even be outside and play without someone shooting, someone fighting, or people doing drugs right there. Like, um, I want domestic violence to stop, that men stop abusing women and controlling women, to get help and learn to protect women rather than shaming them, putting them down, and abusing them. Because what I would say about that is there's too many men who are just like, I know there's some men that be like, well, I didn't want to hit her, or she looked for it. Well, no, no woman looks for a man to hit her. And you have to learn to control your anger, whether it's just walk away and go take a walk. Why put your hand on a woman? So I feel like even females that hit men, like they need to like back off and just not do that. But just the domestic violence issue overall, like I want my community to be like, you know, stopping that, like spreading more awareness. Um, um, I want females to learn to have dignity in my community, to know when enough is enough, to have more awareness on what is a healthy relationship, that parents come together and help one another without fear of judgment, and have towards one another and protect the children. That they are able to rely on someone in the community when they need a little help, to spread awareness about the dangers in the streets to their children, to talk to their children about human trafficking. Oh my God, this is important to me. Why? Because so many kids went missing, and it was these random vans just grabbing kids. And I would love for our community to teach our kids about this, spread a lot of awareness, so that our kids can be careful. And not only the kids, us, be careful with our kids. And what to do if someone is following them, or someone is acting strange towards them, like a weird behavior, or sexual behavior or something, like to spread awareness on pedophiles and pay attention to alarming red flags, because even in your family, it would be somebody that you wouldn't even expect to hurt your child. Start looking for those red flags. Start seeing the funny stuff, because sometimes people could be nice and be so sweet to your kids, but you need to pay attention sometimes, because this is stuff that people don't talk about. There's kids that are being abused at home by a pedophile or someone who's like sexually abusing them, sexually molesting them. Like, pay attention to that. I feel like we need more awareness when it comes to that. That it is okay to speak up if someone did something to them, because a lot of people get shamed for speaking up, for telling their truth. And I feel like, no, don't shame them. Let them speak their truth. Let them speak up when someone tells them that someone hurt them, and that is okay to say it. Not be afraid to say it. To pay attention more to the children and teach them better, because they are the future. I want to see fresh fruits and vegetables in the supermarkets, not old and moldy foods that can make people sick. That there be no more gun violence over nonsense. More safety in neighborhoods. I would like to see programs for teens to get them off the streets and away from gangs, away from drugs, and away from getting into trouble. That way we teach our kids to speak up. Wait, my bad. Let me pause back. That we teach our kids to speak up, stand up for themselves in a good way rather than a violent way. I feel the only way we could change our community is by working on ourselves and practicing empathy, compassion, understanding. What else? Respect, because we spoke about that today. Respect is very huge, because a lot of people, it's like the generation now forgot what respect is. Compassion, empathy, understanding. That's another word we said and I forgot. To be treated fairly and be accepting of one another. Let's see, where did I leave off? Okay, making changes within ourselves so that we can spread our wisdom. by practicing empathy, compassion, understanding, and using our voice in a respectful and kind way. That schools work better with parents and have better resources for students and the parents. So I would like to see schools and parents working together to help one another, so that when parents are going through something with the student, with their child, that the schools give them resources rather than calling ACS every single time. Help the parent out. They're stressed. I know some of you got kids, like, help them out. Or, refer them to, like, something, counseling, something, to help better the relationship and get to the root of the problem. Because majority of the time, sometimes kids act out because there's maybe something happened to them, they're afraid to say it, or they're trying to be cool like everybody else, or they're being bullied. There's a lot of million reasons why kids act out. So parents and school to work together, and better resources for students and the parents. To get the community involved with helping with fundraisers, get the community involved in making sure students are in school, because there's kids that like to cut school, go outside, or start fights outside in front of the building or down the block from the school. Like, the community needs to get involved and make sure these kids are in school, not fighting each other or bullying people around. What I was gonna say, alright, to fundraise, to get community involved in making sure students are in school, not outside fighting other students, like I was saying, that parents come together to solve a problem when it comes to their children and get to the root of the problem together so that kids can get along better in school. That when a parent is already saying they need some help with their troubled teen or child, that the schools help rather than wait until the parent gets overwhelmed and slaps her kid, to then the kid saying in school, my mom or dad slapped me, and calling ACS. If the parent is already expressing concerns and stress, that means that they need some help. Whether it's a referral to counseling, whether it's a program that can help the child with his behavior or her behavior, a program that keeps children out of trouble. Like, I feel like they took a lot of programs away from us. So I feel like more programs for teenagers to keep them off the streets and kids, because a lot of these schools, some schools don't even have after school programs. So we need something. They need to come up with something. Invest in programs for teenagers. We was talking, one of the women in the program that I'm on, when the training that I'm in with Rise, we spoke about coming up with like a work readiness for teenagers, so that they learn how to do certain things, like how to make resumes, how to for teens though, like for teens, because we have that for adults. Back to work program, hello. But we need that for teens. Teach them how to make resumes, teach them how to budget money, programs that can, like, stuff that they can help the kids understand and learn how to work, what kind of job there is, give them an idea what kind of job there's available that they can do, and how to do it, and learn from it, like get some type of training. You understand? What else did we speak of? We spoke about a lot of interesting things. Like, we talked about a lot of community stuff. We spoke about how back then we was able to do block parties where everyone from the community came together. There was no fights, no nothing, just everybody enjoying each other's company, having a good time. Everyone sharing their food, because everybody made so many different foods, and everyone shared their different foods and ate from everybody. Some people even sold their food, and some people just gave their food for free because they didn't care. And we had like music, we had face painting, and a lot of cool things that they used to do back then, which we don't do anymore because we're so afraid of shootouts, or the streets aren't that safe like the mayor or the governor says from New York that we're safe. If we're so safe, why is the Citizen app constantly stating somebody got robbed, somebody got shot, somebody got stabbed, there was a domestic dispute? It's not really safe out here. So I feel like if we come as a community and start doing something about this, we can get something done. And what I was learning at Rise is when you gather people up rather than let these politicians and all these other people come at us and we're like, all of us come together. The more people, the stronger we are in numbers to make a change in our community. That's what I learned from Rise. So I feel like I'm going to learn so much more, but I'm going to continue to share my journey with you with Rise. And when my story is done, I will definitely share it with a lot of people, because I want people to see what I did, even though I shared a little bit of here. But listen, you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. If you are a parent and you just want somebody to just listen to you, I'm here. If you have any ideas or you want to join the RISE program that you've been impacted by the child welfare system, you're more than welcome to just like go to the RISE magazine website and just see, or just hit me up and I will talk to the staff members at RISE and I will tell them that I have a couple of people that I would like to refer for the training, and it's 16 weeks and it's amazing. You get to tell your story, it helps you heal, and it gets a little, sometimes you get angry because you get to share some tough parts of your stories, but it's healing. And me, I need a lot of shadow work. And for those that know what shadow work means, you know, I'm still working with myself, and I'm still healing, and I'm still finding many different ways to communicate with my son and better my relationship with my son. I'm glad to say, as an update, my son did a whole 360 within a year. I homeschooled him. I did I started playing video games with him. I got involved with his video games. I started helping him with his YouTube channel. I started having some bonding time with him, having conversations, give him advice, you know, letting him know how I feel rather than yelling. I tried different things, and I read a lot online. I like to read. I like to do research on how to deal with kids with ADHD. What are good things for teenagers to do at certain ages, and I also allow him to share his feelings and give me suggestions, and that I be open to it. And also, I'm also going to share that I saw the movie Yes Day, which inspired me to give a yes day to my kids, since I'm always saying no, 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 which I am that parent that says no to everything, be like, nope, nope. But I decided to do a yes day for my kids so that we can have some fun. And I'm going to continue, as I said, to share my journey with you guys about the RISE program, and I do not welcome any negativity. It's all positive vibes and motivation, inspiration, and that's it. This is my video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I welcome any feedback. Just please, no negativity or toxicity. That is not welcome here. I'm learning, I'm growing, and I just want to inspire people, and I want to be here for other parents who need help, whether it's just giving advice or just finding some type of resource for them as well, and trying to help them find resources as well. Alright, so this is Zareta. I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself, but my name is Zareta, and I'm out of here.